A laser pulse has already left Earth. Nearly 400,000 kilometers later, it reaches the Moon. Most of its light disappears into space forever. Only a few photons find their way back. Their return is timed. The experiment runs again. Then again. The numbers change. Not by much. Just enough to reveal something your eyes never could. The Moon is moving away. About 3.8 centimeters every year. Stand outside tonight and nothing looks unusual. The Moon still rises. It still fills the same place in the sky. It still feels permanent. The laser keeps telling a different story. Every measurement places the Moon a little farther from Earth than the last. The sky hasn't changed. The measurement has. Now, place something even more familiar beside it. A day. Midnight becomes morning. Morning becomes night. 24 hours pass. Tomorrow repeats the same pattern. It feels as reliable as the Moon itself. But 24 hours is not a fixed property of Earth. It is only the length of one rotation today. If the Moon is quietly changing its orbit, perhaps Earth's rotation isn't standing still either. A different instrument begins counting. Not sunlight. Not shadows. Atoms. Atomic clocks ignore the sky. They measure one of the most stable rhythms nature can produce. That rhythm barely changes. Earth does. Day to day, the planet speeds up and slows down for many reasons. Winds shift across continents. Ocean currents move enormous amounts of water. Ice grows. Ice melts. Deep beneath the surface, Earth's interior is never completely still. Those changes constantly nudge the planet's rotation. Most fade into the background. One does not. Across decades, then centuries, Earth slowly slips behind the atomic clock. The difference is almost impossible to notice. No person could ever feel it. The clocks never stop counting. Now, two completely different measurements exist side by side. One follows light traveling to the Moon. The other follows atoms here on Earth. Neither was designed to explain the other. Yet they keep describing the same world. The Moon is a little farther away. Earth takes a little longer to complete another turn. Nothing in the night sky announces it. Nothing in tomorrow's sunrise reveals it. But both changes are already happening. The same planet. The same Moon. The same moment. The Moon keeps drifting outward. Earth keeps falling behind the atomic clock. The two measurements now share the same moment. They still don't explain each other. Not yet. The answer isn't hidden in space. It's hidden in the oceans. The Moon's gravity pulls on Earth's water. A tidal bulge rises beneath it. Another forms on the far side of the planet. That much is familiar. The next part is almost invisible. Earth spins much faster than the Moon circles it. The oceans don't stay directly beneath the Moon. The rotating planet carries them slightly ahead. Only a small distance. Just enough to matter. Now gravity pulls on that misplaced bulge. The pull acts backward against Earth's rotation. The planet loses a tiny amount of rotational energy. At the same time, the bulge pulls forward on the Moon. The Moon gains that energy instead. Its orbit grows wider. The mystery splits into two measurements because it is really one process. Earth slows. The moon moves away. Neither change causes the other. Both are created by the same exchange. One tide cannot reveal it. Neither can 1,000. The transfer is far too small. Every wave steals almost nothing from Earth's rotation. Every orbit carries the moon only a fraction farther away. Measured once, the change is almost meaningless. Measured for millions of years, it becomes impossible to ignore. The oceans never stop. The moon never stops pulling. Earth never stops turning beneath them. The exchange repeats. Again. 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 Now replace moving water with stone. On the coast of what is now South Australia, an ancient estuary disappeared more than 600 million years ago. The water is gone. Its rhythm remained. Every incoming tide spread a thin layer of sand and mud. Every retreat left another behind. The layers hardened into rock. The tides disappeared. Their timing did not. Scientists counted those layers. Daily tides appeared inside the stone. Longer tidal cycles appeared as well. Together, they preserved a calendar from a world that no longer exists. The result was unexpected. A year contained far more days than it does today. Not because Earth traveled around the sun much faster. Because Earth was spinning faster. One day lasted only about 21.9 hours. The laser measures a change too small to see today. The rock preserves what that same change became after hundreds of millions of years. One measurement watches the process. The other preserves its history. Ancient rock is only one witness. Stone can be broken. Layers can be compressed. A local shoreline can preserve a pattern that belongs only to that place. If the story ends there, doubt remains. So the evidence changes again. Not to another coastline, to life itself. Long before humans kept calendars, marine organisms were already recording time. They never intended to. They simply grew. A thin layer formed. Then another. Tiny changes from one day to the next left fine growth lines. The changing seasons left broader bands around them. Without measuring time, each shell became a calendar. Place one beneath a microscope. Count the daily lines inside a single yearly band. The total is larger than it is today. Not by 1 or 2 days, by dozens. Once again, the year remains almost the same journey around the sun. What changes is the number of rotations Earth completes before that journey ends. The fossil agrees with the rock. Neither record depends on the other. One formed as tides moved sediment across an ancient shoreline. The other formed inside the body of a living organism. Two completely different histories. One planet. Now place them beside the modern measurements. Laser pulses show the moon moving away. Atomic clocks show Earth slowing down. Ancient rock preserves shorter days. Ancient shells preserve more days within the same year. None of these records were created to support one another. They simply refuse to tell different stories. Step backward through time. Earth spins faster. The moon circles closer. Step forward again. Earth turns more slowly. The moon drifts farther away. The same exchange connects every moment in between. 24 hours is no longer the definition of a day. It is today's position along a timeline that began billions of years ago. Look at the moon again. It hasn't changed enough for your eyes to notice. Look at the calendar. It hasn't changed enough for your schedule to notice. The instruments notice. The rocks notice. The fossils notice. Together, they reveal a planet that has never stopped changing. Tomorrow will still begin at midnight. The moon will still rise. Everything familiar will appear exactly where you expect it. Only the measurements will know that the Earth-Moon system is already slightly different than it was today. What happens next is almost impossible to notice. Not tomorrow. Not in 100 years. But planetary history is built from changes too small for a human lifetime. Every tide removes another tiny fraction of Earth's rotational energy. Every orbit carries the moon a little farther away. The process never pauses. It only moves too slowly for us to watch. Stand on a beach for one afternoon. The shoreline barely changes. Return after millions of years. The coastline itself has moved. The Earth-Moon system evolves the same way. Its smallest steps are almost invisible. Its destination is not. A laser pulse still leaves Earth. An atomic clock still counts. The moon still recedes. Earth still turns. Each measurement captures a different moment of the same story. Together, they reveal something far more surprising than a drifting moon. They reveal what a day really is. At the beginning, 24 hours felt like one of nature's constants. Now it looks different. Not because the calendar was wrong. Because the calendar records only today. Today's balance. Today's rotation. Today's Earth-Moon system. Billions of years ago, Earth spun faster. Billions of years from now, it will spin more slowly. The number printed on every clock exists only because of where this relationship stands today. The moon is no longer just Earth's companion. It is one of the forces quietly shaping the rhythm of every sunrise, every sunset, and every day that follows. Nothing dramatic will happen tomorrow. The moon won't suddenly appear smaller. Earth won't feel slower beneath your feet. Morning will arrive exactly when you expect it. That's what makes the story so easy to miss. The largest transformations in nature rarely announce themselves. They accumulate. One tide, one rotation, one orbit at a time. The laser pulse measures the process as it happens. Ancient rock preserves what the process has already accomplished. Together they describe a planet that has never stopped changing. Tomorrow's calendar will still say 24 hours. The Earth that creates those 24 hours will not be exactly the same. The moon will be a little farther away. Earth will turn a little more slowly. The difference is almost nothing. Given enough time, it becomes everything. A laser pulse leaves Earth. Nearly 400,000 kilometers later, it reaches the moon. A few photons find their way home. Their return is measured. The number changes. Not enough for anyone to see. Only enough for the instruments to know. The moon is a little farther away. Earth takes a little longer to complete another turn. The exchange happens again. Another tide rises. Another tide falls. Another tiny fraction of Earth's rotation becomes part of the moon's orbit. No single tide changes history. Billions already have. Tomorrow's sunrise will arrive exactly when you expect it. The moon will still climb above the horizon. The calendar will still say 24 hours. Nothing familiar will appear different. Only the measurements will. The laser, the atomic clock, the ancient shoreline, the fossil, each preserves a different moment in the same story. Not a story about a changing moon or a slowing Earth, but about a planetary system that has never stopped evolving. Tomorrow will look exactly like today. The Earth-Moon system beneath it will not.